Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're decoding the absolute foundation of all cybersecurity, the CIA Triad. Whether you're setting up a network defense or trying to protect sensitive corporate assets, grasping these three core principles is, well, it's completely non-negotiable. So let's get right into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Look, we are constantly surrounded by news of massive data breaches, right? Sophisticated ransomware attacks seem to be hitting the headlines every other day. The stakes are just immense. So we really have to ask a critical question here. What is the absolute foundation of all cybersecurity? If you strip away all the flashy firewalls and the super complex algorithms, what is the core model that actually keeps everything standing?
Well, the answer to that question is the CIA Triad. It's a security model designed specifically to help organizations protect their information from those looming cyber threats. Think of it like laying down the foundational blocks for a towering, highly secure building. If that foundation is cracked or, missing a corner, the entire structure above it is just going to collapse under the pressure. The CIA Triad provides those three indispensable blocks to keep sensitive data safe and sound.
Let's move to and see how this builds. First, we'll look at the cybersecurity foundation itself. Then, Pillar 1, confidentiality. Pillar 2, integrity. Pillar 3, availability. And finally, we'll wrap up with why the triad matters.
Starting off with Section 1, the cybersecurity foundation. Like we just talked about, much like a house, a security model literally cannot stand without these core supporting principles in place.
Moving on to Section 2, Pillar 1, confidentiality. This is the CNR acronym, and it is the very first pillar of defense.
So what does this actually mean? Confidentiality means protecting sensitive information from unauthorized access. The entire goal here is strict secrecy. Whether it's your private banking API keys, internal M&A emails, or classified blueprints, confidentiality ensures that these critical assets stay completely hidden from anyone without the exact right permissions. And this really perfectly illustrates the balance we need. Only authorized users can view or use confidential data. Because let's face it, complete secrecy is totally useless if legitimate users are locked out of their own systems. Actually, a strong confidentiality protocol acts a lot like a highly trained bouncer at a secure VIP club. It expertly distinguishes between the malicious actors who absolutely must be kept out and the authorized personnel who need seamless access to just do their jobs.
All right, let's look at Section 3, Pillar 2, integrity. This is the eye of the triad and our second foundational block. Integrity ensures information remains accurate, complete, and unchanged. Just imagine if an attacker bypassed security at a hospital, right? And instead of stealing data, they just scrambled a patient's blood type in their medical history. The data isn't a secret anymore, sure, but its integrity is completely destroyed, making the situation potentially lethal. The data you put into a system absolutely must be exactly the same, bit for bit, as the data you get out. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the crucial exception here. Information must remain unchanged unless modified by an authorized user. See, data isn't static, it breathes, it gets updated daily. Integrity ensures that only the right people have the permission and the power to make those changes, and that the organization can implicitly trust every single edit they make. Which brings us to Section 4, Pillar 3, availability. This is the A that completes our triad puzzle. Availability dictates that systems and data are accessible whenever authorized users need them. Think about it. You could theoretically have perfectly secret and mathematically unchangeable data stored in an underground concrete bunker with zero internet connection. Sure, it would be incredibly secure, but it would also be completely worthless because you literally cannot get to it when it actually counts. The information must be ready and accessible at all times for the right people. This is exactly where cybersecurity finds its delicate balance between ultimate lockdown and everyday usability. Availability requires consistent, reliable access. That means your networks are up, your servers are running smoothly, and your operations aren't brought to a grinding halt by disruptive threats, like a massive DDoS attack, for example. Finally, Section 5, why the triad matters. Let's bring all three of these pillars together and look at the real-world impact. So why does this matter so much to you? Why do global organizations spend literally billions of dollars every single year trying to perfectly balance confidentiality, integrity, and availability? Well, because these principles dictate the very survival and legal standing of a business in the modern landscape. So the crucial point is that implementing the triad successfully means achieving non-negotiable operational requirements. You protect sensitive information. You prevent devastating cyberattacks.
You build immense customer trust, and you successfully meet rigorous legal and compliance mandates. This isn't just abstract theory. This is about absolute business continuity and drastically reducing catastrophic risk.
Look at the tight, interconnected balance of the triad we just went over, and ask yourself, what happens to your business if just one of these pillars collapses? Lose confidentiality, and you lose trust. Lose integrity, you lose accuracy. Lose availability, and you completely lose your operations. The strength of your security relies on all three standing together. So take a hard look at your own networks today. Which of your three pillars is currently the weakest? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. See you next time.